Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wrestling fans, and sports entertainment fans, hello and welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm ElliJare, and we are going to run through some news, notes, and dare I say, spoilers. No, I won't be giving any spoilers away. I will not mention any winners, any losers. I just don't dig that. So we're just going to run through some notes and see what's good, right? So wrestling is like regular news, right? So when that 24-hour news cycle is constantly on the move, I mean, you're basically inundated with information 24/7. So you're either on the Twitter machine, you're Googling a finishing move, or, for me, I'm always looking up titles and who won them, who made them, stuff like that, right? So what I've been hearing a lot lately and reading a lot lately is whether or not Charlotte and Rhea should have been in the main event. And dare I say, hell yeah, yes, they should have. But I understand the significance, especially in WWE, having a tag team match in the main event, because that's never happened before. Now, the significance of the Rhea Charlotte match sort of gets undersold now because of the fact that it wasn't the main event. Now, that should not take away anything of the significance of the win for Rhea. And you figure she won the NXT UK title, she won the NXT title, she's won the tag team titles, she's held the Raw and the SmackDown title, and that's dope. Like, that is really, really cool. So kudos to her and the career and the lineage that she's building. Just absolutely phenomenal. And the two of them should be absolutely ecstatic for the story that they told in the ring. So, kudos to them. So some other stuff we're hearing about. I heard that and read that Randy Orton is going to be coming back soon. Looks like that we might want to sort of temper our expectations a little bit longer. He's still dealing with that back injury, and I tweaked my back the other day, and I've been laid up for 2 days. I can only imagine. And recovering from back surgery takes a minute. Some people, it took me, almost 18 months to really get like all the feeling in my feet and thighs and stuff. So Randy's obviously in, really good condition. So, hopefully he'll be able to snap back. And if he's not back in the ring, let's hope that he's able to lead dare we say, normal life, because JT's always talking about the bump card, and he's had a number of shoulder injuries. He had a relatively significant neck injury when he was in a match with Mr. Kennedy, which gave me the idea for this microphone. And that subsequently ended Kennedy's run in the WWE, which that's a real bummer. So also for tonight, what what a lot of the talk is Drew McIntyre. Now, he's not backstage tonight, and he is relatively close to the end of his contract. So what does that mean? He's dealing with some injuries and an illness, so it may mean nothing, and we're just getting all in a tizzy, for no real reason. So let's bring it down a notch, and I think everything will work out. So we've got Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Looks like they're going to start getting pushed, so that will be fun because Chelsea Green's character is a freaking riot. So and dare I say, as a Matt Cardona fan, the better that Chelsea is doing, and the happier that Chelsea is, increases the chances of being able to move on to the next phase. So we'll see what happens with that, but I'm here for it either way. So hey, so that's where we're with that. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey are both on the men. So looking forward to getting them back in the ring because the sooner we get them back in the ring, the sooner we can move on with this the whole tag team title situation. So yeah, that's something that I'm like mentally wrestling with because of the way the WrestleMania showcase match ended. And then next thing you know, someone who lost is in the championship match. And then, oh, by the way, they're the tag team champions now. And Trish is now has now moved over to the dark side. So good for her. Character reinventing, and you know, uh, we can talk about different swerves. I think it would have been pretty cool to get a double swerve, and we get Becky Lynch as a heel, or we get Raquel coming in to save Becky. That would be the money because now you could have a match with Becky and Trish, so that you still have that heat there, and now Raquel is a heel, but then you put the women's tag team titles in limbo. So it's like, your wrestling brain, your fantasy booking sort of sends you in this like pseudo tailspin. But I think a lot of wrestling fans too are like, why don't they get some new gear? Why don't they try a new finishing move? Um, the entrance music, the difference between Hollywood Hogan and the Hulkster with Hulkamania, night and day. Those could be the two most significant um, baby faces and heels. And, they even talked about it on the NWO documentary on A&E. So there's a lot out there to talk about and read and check it out. So definitely, if you get a hot second, go onto your demand, go to network, go to A&E, and there is so much there. The hidden treasures, the rivalries, and legends and rivals. So really, really cool stuff. So definitely, I think there's a little bit of everything for everyone. So I think some other stuff that has come up recently, and you saw Monet talking about it on social media, and so did Rhea Ripley talk about Mickie James relinquishing the Impact World title, the Impact Knockouts World title. And at first, I thought she was going to announce her retirement. I really thought that this was it. She did the last rodeo. She came out on top. So now we are going to have Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace, and they're going to compete for that women's title. So I think that's unfortunate, but she's not hanging onto the title. There isn't going to be an interim, dangling over her head, and I think that's really, really significant. So something else that's pretty significant is you're someone that you is synonymous with a brand, Nike, Jordan. Um, Converse, I would say, back in the day, it would be Bird and Magic. And obviously, I'm dating myself. Those McDonald's commercials were awesome, by the way. So now, you think about a brand. When you think about that New Japan title, that IWGP title, the first name that comes to mind is the Rainmaker. And I've, been following wrestling as long as I can remember. And, obviously as the brand built and stuff, but for the last decade, he's either held the title or been in the title picture. So he recently relinquished the title and said he needed a change of scenery. Wow. So I think that's pretty significant, and I I am excited to see what's going to happen, and I don't want to just default it to, well, he's going to go to AEW, but let's just call it like it is. He's probably going to go to AEW because they're going to have the freedom. He's going to be in a real supported organization. And although there's been, some of the, drama and stuff like that lately, there's still a really, really good opportunity for them to have an amazing run, have a great rivalry, some awesome feuds with Jay White here, here in on American soil. The stories that they can tell is going to be absolutely ridiculous, and I think they're going to be able to make a lot of money with that. So how about this? Now, JT and we were talking about the All in Wembley, right? So if they decide, AEW decides we are going to open up 70,000 seats. Now, if you drop a code and say pre-register today, I would say a success would be half. If you can get half of those tickets sold on pre-registration, you're sitting pretty good. Now, keep in mind too, the largest house that they've had up until this point was Arthur Ashe, and that was roughly 23,000 seats. And man, not only did they surpass like my little expectation of 35, they did over 50. Over 50,000 people have already registered and said, you can guarantee my butt is going to be sitting in Wembley. Beg, borrow, or steal, I am going to get my wrestling ass over to Wembley. Now, just imagine that the business that they could do, and if it could work out where they would do a Wednesday show, they would do some recordings, they could do their Ring of Honor recordings, they could do a Friday night show, sort of a precursor and matches that they're not going to have on that card, and for All Out, and then the main card. So if they say they're going to do, so now they're already at 50. So if they pack the joint out, they're already half capacity, which I think is just absolutely awesome. So I'm here for it. I think it's going to be a banger. If some of the rumored matches that they're going to try and slap together, you have CM Punk against Omega. I wouldn't be upset with Omega going against his nemesis that he beat for the United States title. I think that would be pretty cool. As long as he's healed up, I don't want him coming back not at 100%. I think they're one of the other ones that was talked about was if they did a triple threat with FTR, CM Punk, and you have some kind of elite or something, or they double down and they have someone else come in to back up with FTR, CM Punk, and someone else against the elite. Now, wow, that would sell tickets, hands freaking down. That would sell some tickets. Saraya obviously, would make a lot of sense to have her on the card. Obviously, you'll have Jamie Hayter as your women's world champion, so she'll be on the card, and that will be awesome. So and if they bring in the Rainmaker, I mean, you put him in the ring with anyone, I think would be fantastic. I'm not really sure what's happening with the Starks against Juice. But, hopefully that's going to come and go, and we're going to be done with that. I don't think Edge's contract is up in time, so you won't be seeing a triple threat match with Edge and Christian versus the Hardys versus the Elite, although it would be pretty fun. But I think we're gonna sort of have to cool our jets on that as well. So, but no, hey, another thing I found pretty interesting, and Bully Ray, his wrestling IQ and his, his acumen for the business, like him or not, and I'm a pretty big fan of his opinion and what he brings to he's over on Busted Open with La Greca a couple days a week, and what he brings to the show is sort of a unbiased, in my opinion, unbiased view. And it's not so much like he's not peeling back the curtain and letting in fans to, stuff that they're not supposed to see. But he's like, hey, he sort of pokes fun at hey boss, I think and I love it, that kind of stuff. He pokes fun at that. But one thing that he said was that if Jeff better not F this up. Like, seriously. And you think back to like NFL players, NBA players, Major League Baseball. Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame because, he got in trouble. The wideout who had numerous opportunities, who is now playing in the XFL. And, you only get so many chances, whether it's, injury, whether it's, criminal activity, whatever. So I really hope that he stays straight and narrow and, doesn't come off the rails, because that would be, I I can't even like, that would be terrible, because he's not a bad dude, and a dependency issue doesn't make you a bad person. It just, you've got something you have to work through. So please, give him some love, give him some opportunity to really work through that. I would venture to say this will be his last go at it. So, but I'll leave that alone going forward here. So, how about this? Now, the nil deal is not the name, image, and likeness. This is the next in line. The WWE has a program where you come to the Performance Center and you learn the ins and outs. They run you through the rigors of being a NXT superstar. You are in their development and you're on the payroll and you're working through everything. Well, how about the twins out of the University of Miami? They are in talks with the WWE for a nil deal. Now, this is pretty cool because they're twins, and instantly, what do you think? Bellas, right? Or Garcias now. Now, this is really cool, and they're athletic, they're aesthetic, they're not bad to look at, and those two things, along with a solid move set and some wicked gear, will take you a long way. So I think that's going to be really cool for them. I wish them nothing but the best. I don't know what their injury situation is in the past. I really like that, just freaks me out, people getting injured and stuff, but hey, I'm here for it. The another thing that sort of I don't know what the right word is, upset me, discouraged, disappointed. Disappointed is a good one. They are now calling the King and Queen of the Ring, or the event that we were supposed to see in Saudi, the Night of Champions. I don't know. I was really looking forward to seeing, a couple of people get crowned. Hopefully, that would be a tournament that would get a few, get some people over, really show what's up. But hey, they're gonna go a different direction. So, listening to Conan lately too, he's got a show that is called Keeping It 100, and he was talking about Dominic and you know, how his character is evolving. I listened to his Mailbag Extra show recently too, and you know, where this is where he answers emails and texts and tweets and stuff, and pretty interesting questions. He cuts it to him real, and then he sort of kind of like me. I go off on a tangent, and then I come back talking about wrestling. So he talked about the similarities, but the differences between the different styles of wrestling, and what it takes to, you know, take your style, mold it, hone it, and then work that specific style, whether it's a region. Um, and he wasn't quite territories. He was really close to territories coming over as a lucha in WCW. He had to work more of a ground game. He's a little more physical, larger with regards to lucha, because a lot of the lucha wrestlers are, you know, small. And then he talked about when he was working over in Puerto Rico, three completely different styles. Even, you know, if you come over to the WWE, he didn't do any time in AWA. AWA was again a completely different style. So, but yeah, no, I think that, you know, he's got a good show, good bunch of material. The WWE podcast too is very WWE focused. That's why it's called the WWE podcast. He threw me for a loop a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about AEW, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I need to hit reboot because you know, sort of threw me for a loop. So, but hey, you know, like with anything, I I'm all about some professional wrestling. I love the stories. I love the underdog. I love the fighting from underneath, the hot tag, overcoming. And, you know, I hate to admit now that you know, now that we're past the WrestleMania finish, I really hope that Cody goes through his trials, goes through his version of hard times, and, um, you know, comes out the victor. Now, here's another thing that I'm reading and seeing and hearing about is the WWE's plan to split the titles. So you'll have a new title get introduced. So SmackDown and Raw will have their a new version of their world title, whether one is the unified world title. I don't know that the universal title will stick around. But you know, I'm super interested on what this will mean, because now, you know, they're going to go into the draft, and the draft, ironically enough, is going to happen here, you know, not far from me in Jacksonville. So that will be pretty interesting to see who goes where and how that all happens. And, you know, Intercontinental title switches shows. Oh, looks like US title is switching shows. What will happen with the tag team titles? Are they going to keep those unified? I think, you know, if you're going to focus on, you know, you can't focus on everything. So you got to really set your priorities on, you know, who's doing what to who and how you're going to get there as far as the stories are concerned. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a real fun time. I think wrestling in general is in a really good place. GCW is doing some great stuff with the stories. Masha Slamovich as the GCW World Champion. They brought in Vikingo, who is just absolutely a like visual like explosion to watch, and it's a blast. So if you haven't had an opportunity to catch him, he was on GCW show. He did some work in AEW, and when he did that forward flip off the middle rope, he flung himself, flip, and how he was able to, you know, tuck his head in and not hit is, you know, hey, good on you, good on your chiropractor or physical therapist, whoever, your yoga instructor. How he was able to tuck and roll is just short of amazing. So kudos Vikingo, keep doing what you're doing. If you get a hot second, tweet me back. I'm trying to get a hold of your gear. I messaged your manager as well. I'd like to rock some of your gear. You and Cody are definitely up there as far as a couple of my favorite performers. So he's getting ready to do a show where it's going to be hair versus hair coming up shortly. So I think that will be hopefully he hangs on to that little faux hawk thing that he's got going on. So also tonight is a long-awaited return of Mr. Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. So I am super excited to see what comes of that, who he's going to hop into a program with. He left sort of, I think Boogs got injured and then, they sort of wrote him off of TV and he's coming back. So that's awesome. Like to see Boogs in a, somewhat of a program, something of a program, whether it's as a tag team or singles run. I think, he's got a great character. And another guy that I need to see on TV every week, they need to build and build and build, put one of those, either the US or the Intercontinental title, make them relevant, make the man relevant as well. And that's L.A. Knight. Yeah. This guy is gold on the mic. He stays in character, and he just he's like, you just had WrestleMania in LA. His name is LA. Like, he's not even on WrestleMania. You could have balled him up with Bobby Lashley. You could have put him out there with Bronson Reed. You could have put him in a three-way based on what happened in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Yeah, you're cooking something up quick, but you get that on a WrestleMania card. Whoo, in the immortal words of the bad guy, hey yo, that is pure money. And I think that would have been an absolute blast. Now we're past WrestleMania. We closed off some stories. We're building up some new ones. That's what we need to do. We need to start building up some of these guys and girls. Hey, here's the deal. You don't just need one story. You don't need one top heel and one top babyface. You can have more than one. And, that keeps everyone interested. And it will help with the wear and tear on everybody and not having to have damn Austin Theory on TV every single week. Give him every other week off, or get him, have him cut a promo instead of being in the ring. And then you're rotating the tires. Basically, you're giving everybody a chance to to fill out their bump card a little bit slower. So we're also going to see Matt Riddle back in the ring tonight. So that'll be interested to see what happens with that story. He's coming back. He's sort of loosely aligned with Sammy and Kevin, your unified tag team champions. So we'll see what comes of that. So WWE's show tonight is coming to you from Lincoln, Nebraska. So we'll see. I'm really excited to see what that crowd is like. They haven't been in Lincoln in a while, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. So hey, I'm gonna get out of here and go read and watch some wrestling, and see what what kind of trouble I can get into as I start my weekend and get my mind right. So just like we always do when we sign off, please, you are loved. Someone's thinking of you. And, if you're in any kind of distress, please get help wherever you can. 988, call them up. Instantly, you'll be connected with someone who has the skill set to sort of help you get, in the right direction. If you don't do that, if you're affiliated with a church, make your way over to the church. If you're on active duty, talk to someone in your command, talk to your roommate. Do not suffer in silence. It's not necessary. So To my brothers and sisters in arms, thank you very much for your service. Some gave all, and all gave some. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep following us. Keep hitting us up. Yesterday was a banner day, record day for the No Shave Man Cave, and it is an absolute honor to be here with you. So until next time, my friends, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you on the floor.